fiscally.
So she tells Canadians that they've never had it so good. Wow. She's out of touch and Canadians are out of money. Is to continue with inflationary deficits and taxes, tripling taxes on gas, heat, and groceries. Will they cancel these inflationary taxes and spending so Canadians can afford to eat, heat, and house themselves?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the only thing that has tripled under our government is Canada's AAA credit rating.
Inflation in Canada has gone down and has become relatively stable for the past 4 months, and that's good news. But we do understand that Canadians are still struggling, and that is why we have acted responsibly and in a caring fashion fiscally.
So she tells Canadians that they've never had it so good. Wow. She's out of touch and Canadians are out of money. One of the reasons is the rising cost of fuel. Home heating bills are up 77% in Newfoundland and Labrador. Similar increases across the Atlantic, and Northern Ontario will get hit hard because of oil heating. And yet the government wants to triple the carbon tax to punish people further. This after the tax failed to reduce emissions or hit targets to fight climate change. Instead of hitting Canadians with more punishing taxes, why don't they give Canadians relief so they can keep the heat on?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, you know who is broke in Canada today? Anyone who actually listened to the Conservative leader in the spring and followed his advice and invested in crypto. Canadians who did that would have lost at least 65% of their life savings. Many of them would be completely wiped out. It's time for the Conservative leader to take responsibility, to renounce this reckless advice, and to apologize to the Canadians.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Vice, this is the minister who advised Canadians that there would be deflation rather than inflation. Right. Her government said inflation and interest rates would stay low for decades so that they should borrow up a storm. And her most recent advice is that Canadians should pay their $6,000 home heating bills by canceling their $13 Disney subscription. That's the advice we're getting from the finance minister. No wonder we have 40-year highs in inflation. Why won't the government reverse its inflationary taxes so that Canadians can afford to live?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Conservative leader lives in a 19-room government mansion, rent and mortgage-free. This mansion comes with a chef and a driveway where his chauffeur can wait to pick him up.
Wow. Rose down the lead. Order. The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister from the top, please.
From the top. Mr. Speaker, the Conservative leader lives in a 19-room government mansion, rent and mortgage-free. The mansion comes with a chef and a driveway where his chauffeur can wait to pick him up. Now, all of these privileges are a recognition of the essential role of the official opposition. But with this privilege comes responsibility. And that responsibility
I'm not getting any sound here.
Not giving advice. It's time for the Conservative leader today to apologize for this reckless advice.
instead of defending his record, he states falsehoods about our record. There were 2 conservative budgets prior to the great global recession. And let's look at those budgets. 2006, according to the public accounts, a $13.8 billion surplus. 2007, delivered again by Jim Flaherty, a $9.6 billion surplus. Conservatives did the responsible thing and paid off debt to cushion us against the hard times that were to come, and that's why we had the strongest response to the great global recession. Why did he spend the cupboard bare in the good times and leave us so weak and vulnerable now in the hard times?
Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Places, he didn't think about monetary policy. Even as CPI hit a 2-decade high, he didn't think much about monetary policy because he only thinks about himself. Won't he admit that what it took for him to start thinking about inflation is when we put his name in the word?
Conservative games.
That's right.
The Honourable Member for Carleton.
Well, on October 28, 2020, the finance minister promised Canadians they would have deflation. For the Prime Minister's benefit, that means prices go down. Today, the Bank of Canada confirmed that we have inflation. Again, for those who don't think about monetary policy, that means prices go up. So everything they said would go down is going up, and everything they said is going up is now going down. Now that the Prime Minister has himself spinning in circles and saying his own name here on the floor of the House of Commons, will he finally admit that what we have in this country is Justin?
Honourable Prime Minister.
I think most people are chuckling when they think of that. We now have to pay $720,000 for the average house across Canada. In Toronto and Vancouver, it's now over $1 million. The year ending November of 2021 saw the fastest housing inflation ever, according to the Canadian Real Estate Association.
He spent $70 billion on affordable housing to make housing prices go up by almost $300,000. Wow. And many members of this House were not even born. Liberals first started promising to make